Hi, if you're a part of Solon, you are free to watch this. It doesn't have any spoilers for the campaign. However, I request that you do not tell anybody about this because it's supposed to be like a little secret thing, okay? Just you and me, nobody else has to know. I don't know, maybe I'll tell them eventually, but like, for now, I'm only giving the link to Vin and Emma. Bye, or enjoy. Hey, so, recording the Solon thank you video made me realize that I really do like making video essays, so I'm just gonna babble and read out my entire DMing diary and probably do like a little bit of a reflection. Um, if I ever do publish this, small warning, it's gonna get really emotional. Like, these are my unfiltered thoughts. I'm not gonna tell anybody in Solon that I published this video, but like, we're gonna be talking about like insecurities and stuff, so that's, be prepared. Anyway, my DMing diary for my DMing thoughts. My first passage in that is being a DM without an art background, written on January 13th, 2022. I got into DMing through one thing, world building. That's still really where my interest is, though I haven't had much time to do it for Salus. I hope one day to make a world that makes scientific sense, but is different to our world. The way that I was toying around with this originally was through a world with more severe weather and two suns, but I knew very little about a lot of things, so it just kind of remained unfinished. Then there's my second world, Orental. Honestly, I'm not comfortable sharing that one quite yet, as cool as it is. It's weird. I trust my current players, but there's something sacred in world building for me. Something private, my own, comfortable. Sharing that is already My little sister's screaming. Sharing that is already difficult with a world like Salus, one that isn't entirely my own creation. Sharing my own actual creations would be hard. I'm protective over them. I'm going off on a tangent. Oops. Point is, I'm not much of an actor, and I don't like sharing. I love watching people play D&D. I love facilitating that for other people, but there's something about managing this giant world and not being able to improv well that kills me a little. I wish I could be like some of the other people I play with. I wish creativity came naturally to me like it comes for them, but it really just doesn't. The interesting thing about creativity is you can't force it. You need to be able to adapt, grow with it. It's like waves or the passage of time. It's not worth fighting against time. Time just happens and we move with it. We can't stop the clock from walking forward. We can only choose to not trap ourselves in the memories of the past. God, another tangent. What I'm trying to say is, I envy the people for whom this kind of stuff comes easy. The people who aspire to be voice actors, writers, musicians. The people who find it easy to throw themselves into characters and universes and really feel. I don't think I don't have strengths, but my kind of strength is a bit quieter. My strength is in the way that the seasons pass, the way that the world changes, the way that flowers grow and wilt. That's where I found my home, and that's where I continue to find it. In order to really feel like a good DM, I feel like I need to constantly be improving. Like if my players don't come out of the session feeling it was better than the last, that I've somehow failed. But that's not how storytelling works, is it? You can't have payoff all the time. You need to build, grow, slow down, and breathe. I took a break from writing this to listen to one of my favorite songs, and I'm in a bit of a different mood. Sorry for the shift. I think the only thing that I can really expect of myself is effort. We all have our growing pains. I'm glad people are able to try. I was an online stranger to all of these people 6 months ago. These are absolute strangers that were willing to let me try, who were willing to get to know me. And I know that it probably meant nothing to them at the time, that this group was just a way to play D&D. Nothing more, nothing less, but regardless. The sentiment, now I want to do a whole other rant. I'll come back to this one, I swear. I'm back, but only for a sentence. I should rewatch CZ's and figure out what I like and don't like. I never ended up doing that. Well, this is just me talking now. I never ended up doing that. But I think I will one day, but that was very, I need to rewatch things and, if I have something to learn from it, Because needless criticism myself isn't gonna lead me anywhere. Anyway, rant number 2. caring about things, written on the 13th of January, 2023. I already talked about how I think about my worlds. This won't vary from a explanation though, close parentheses. I love my worlds. They're literally like my children, lovingly created and tweaked and doted on by yours truly. So sharing Salus, as unfinished as it was, with my co-DM was hard, but sharing what we made together was harder. I'm secretly a super affectionate, caring person. I keep it poorly hidden under about 12 layers of sarcasm, quips, and rude jabs. When I first felt that people were putting effort and time and thoughts into the world that Captain and I made, it was a bit overwhelming in a good way. But then I realized, like, some people can play in 3, 4 campaigns at a time. This is it for me. This is where my energy goes. And then it was embarrassing caring about something that everyone around me didn't care about that much. I know that it's irrational that Cap and I have put a lot of time and energy into this, and so have our players. I know that someone else probably cares at least half as much as I do, but it's a bit scary, you know? I have big feelings. It's always been like this. I love harder than I should, fall harder than I should, I hurt more than I should. It's in my nature. I don't think feeling bigger feelings than most is necessarily a bad thing, but I do think it's lonely. Maybe I feel this way because my worlds are an extension of me. Is it that I don't feel I can be loved, but something that I make can be? Do I yearn for people to love me as fiercely as they can love something I create? Or are my worlds just a complicated, messy piece of me that I bear to others in the hopes that they'll care just a little bit for a piece of me? I think that with me, it's impossible to separate myself in my universes. I also think that's why I feel protective over them. A world isn't a world, it's me. I know why I feel like this, and I'm not gonna get into it here. That's something for me to know and the details of, and for whoever's reading this, hopefully a much older, more competent me, to find out through the bare minimum hints I leave here. Caring about others more than they care about me is a hell I really do not wish to visit again. Regardless, it's hard. I want people to care, not only about my world, but for the forces in it, the angry parts of me that I stuff into a villain, the loving, the loyal, everything. I don't think that I'll ever really believe it until we're done with the main plot. If people want to continue after that, I don't know what I'll do. Probably cry. Adding on to this hours later. I care that my players have a good time. That's why this is so hard. At the start, I almost viewed Solon transactionally, like I would a job. It didn't matter if I was messing up because I was providing a service and I was super new. But now these people are friends? Maybe friends? Not sure what label to use, but regardless, I want them to have fun, and that's terrifying, and it leads into my next rant. I finished this rant on a month later, on February 16th, 2023. Or was that a year? I think I put the date wrong for that. Oops. But I'll read the finishing part of this rant and then I'll read the next one. I finished that next rant. It's called DMing Makes Me Insecure, Not in a Bad Way. It's right under this one. Anyways, caring. It was hard to go from caring in a selfish way to not, but I think the worst part of it was feeling alone in that. I've already gone on my little world rant twice, so this time I'll spare you, but that soon expanded to fit the PCs and one particular NPC. But I hit that oh shit I care wall and I felt like I was the only one who crossed it. And caring is cringe. Yeah, this is all about cringe culture. Sometimes I sit to myself and I think, god damn, I'm really spending every other Friday role-playing in a Discord voice call with a ton of children. And then I dismantle that in my head again and again. Role-playing isn't bad. Telling stories isn't bad. Online friends are real friends. And the fact that you don't see them offline doesn't make them inferior. And most importantly, no one deserves to be looked down on for their age. Like, yeah, I have 2 years on these people except Lake, but that doesn't make them bad friends. I think there's a level of responsibility that you hold as the technical adult in this situation, especially not to make certain kinds of jokes, but like, as long as you aren't crossing those boundaries, it's fine. I think that's one of the things I actually like MCYT for. It's not weird for adults and minors to consider each other friends, because they maintain boundaries. Next rant. DMing makes me insecure, not in a bad way, written on February 16th, 2023. I'm pretty sure this is all 2023 and the 2022 was a mistake. Yeah, it is. Um, as I said in my last rant, I was very transactional about Solon at the start. I think if I read my older messages back, I can see it, especially in the professional, kind way I tried to talk to everyone. Not with Captain, though. Never really with Captain. But, like, after every session, I would ask what I could do to improve, what I could do better, and I still want to do that, and I still do that. But it's different now. I used to take notes on what I could improve and take every criticism, change something, which is a good mindset for improvement, but not so much for, like, emotional attachment. I was putting skill points into different things, spending a currency to improve with no consideration to anything except improvement and rules. But then I started to actually consider these people friends, and I hung out with them outside of session, and I was hit with this sudden wave of just pure anxiety. It hit me. Bleh, it hit me hardest in about October to December 2022, going from a transactional relationship to realizing these were maybe kind of sort of friends, realizing that I cared about their enjoyment not as an extension of my own skills as a DM, but also because I cared for them in some capacity, was jarring. Even now, I wouldn't call anyone I meet online a close friend, at least not in the way that Emma and I are close, but I care about them. I care about them in the innate way that I care about them in the innate human way that people care about people, in the way that people give their umbrellas to strangers, help old people cross the street, in the way that people will drop everything to help a kid who's lost. I don't know if this sounds patronizing. I hope it doesn't. My intention is just to say I don't know how to quantify how much I care about people, but I do know that I'm human, and that humans care. Going back to insecurity. I was scared, terrified even. I remember there were a couple, well, more like a month of sessions where I was straight up dreading it. I never felt prepared enough. I never felt like I could do it. I suddenly cared about these people as more than just outlets for my own storytelling, and it was so fucking scary. I think I just needed to slow down, honestly. We stopped playing every week and went every other, and now I have the time to prepare and the time to socially recover. I'm an introvert and need the recharge time, okay? I think the biggest thing, though, was not planning as much. The change in how much I prep from session 1 to 15 is actually hilarious. I used to have at least a page of writing for each session, filled with descriptions and notes and DCs that I didn't feel confident enough to set myself. It's so funny in comparison to Captain, because they've always not written much in the planning doc. I hear somebody gardening outside. I'm closing my window. It's honestly one of the things I find so cool about them. The Landy sessions are always so amazing. They're silly but emotional when they need to be, and it's all so fun to watch. They just had a solo session with Roko and they went so fucking hard. It was incredible. Back to the topic though. I hit a wall where I just stopped planning as much. I didn't want to. I couldn't get myself to, and so I didn't. And I'm proud of those sessions. I joke that the less I plan, the better the sessions are, which I don't think is entirely true. I think I'm more comfortable, so I plan less, and the sessions are better because I'm more comfortable. Really though, when people started telling me that the unplanned sessions were some of the coolest, that changed something for me. Some of my favorite CZ's moments were completely improv. Schlortle sneaking into the hospital and seeing someone die, completely unplanned. Genuinely one of my favorite moments. There are 1 million moments like that I could name. I'm running out of thoughts, so I guess I'll say I'm not as insecure anymore. I have anxiety, so I don't think the nervousness will really ever go away, but it's an exciting kind of nervousness. It's not the kind of anxiety where I want to curl into a ball and will time to slow down. It's the kind of anxiety that makes me rush home and type faster and tap my feet under my desk so aggressively it makes it look like I'm shaking. To do good things, you need to push yourself, I guess. This might be another rant, maybe a part of the YouTube rant I'm gonna do later, but making things and hanging out with people is so rewarding. I used to think that art was below me, that I was the sole STEM kid that didn't secretly want to do art, and that made me special in some way. But honestly, the older I get, the less and less I think STEM and art kids are real. Well, I think that some subjects definitely come easier to some people. Like, I never really struggled in math once I got past the basics and cleaned up my handwriting. But I think we all need balance, and I think that STEM kids that disregard the arts as something less than them or not even less than them but not worth the time, are missing out, because telling stories is for everyone. Since the dawn of civilization, since before we had language, we sang and we told stories and we enjoyed each other's company. We're not different now just because we've modernized. I think I've talked myself out for tonight. Well, I don't know if that's possible with this subject. I care about it a lot. Oh shit, no, I haven't. Wait, that goes in a different rant. Oops, I guess I'll end this for now with I have a session this Friday. It's Tuesday morning today. Thursday morning today. And I'm so fucking excited. Holy shit, the amount of energy that I have is genuinely horrifying because it's like 2:40 a.m. But if I can't get out my D&D thoughts, I will implode. On to the next rant. Except I continue this one for a little bit. Continuing the rant. Well, that inability to plan kind of snowballed. I've been depressed. Obligatory, it's genetic for me. I'm good. This is not my first rodeo. Regardless, now that I'm kind of coming out of it, I've realized that I do want to plan more. I want to have pages upon pages of silly notes. Obviously, there's a balance there that I wasn't really striking when I first started. I think I'll always be a bit of an over-preparer. We all have our things, I guess. And now, I have to get ready for work. So, that's gonna be where I end it for today, but we'll finish the next 2 rants in a second recording. Bye! We're back. It's a day later because I had work and it was very tiring. We're gonna pick back up on Orenthal and Technoblade. So I made one of my worlds, Orenthal, about 12 hours before So Long Nerds went up. Literally on the dot, just about. I would make Orenthal at about 6:23 a.m. on June 30th, 2022. So Long Nerds would go up at about 6:29 p.m. that same day. Ironically, it was about grief. The whole thing was about grief. I had pictures in my head of a world where the skies were forever pink, where the story was about moving on from your own passing. A story that would start with the adventurers failing in an epic boss battle, a futile but noble effort to stop evil. I'll put the pitch in here and read it at the end, I guess. I have the Pinterest board that I made for it, all pink sunsets and clouds and hope and rolling fields. It's called Orenthal because the flower I based it off of, the white hyacinth. Hyacinthus orientalis is the scientific name for the common hyacinth. Orientalis oriental. Looking back, I feel like this is kind of some weird joke that the universe was playing on me. How ironic is it that Orenthal has eternal pink skies, that it was made 12 hours before the announcement, and that the whole story is about climbing the impossible mountain of grief. Orenthal is a mountain, literally. The players start at the very bottom. There's nowhere lower to go. They have to climb the mountain to progress, to reach the gate that will take their souls out of this plane of existence. I have hours of rambles in my head about how protective I am over my worlds, and Orenthal is particularly special to me, but it feels wrong to keep it to myself, almost. I want to yell at the world and say, look what I made, look how it helped me, play in it, live your grief, feel your feelings. It helped me a lot. There isn't a lot built for it right now because it's so personalized. All the trials the players have to go on have to be custom. They have to call back to their lives and the adventures they went on. They need to grapple with what they refuse to let go, and hopefully, by the time they reach the top of the mountain, they will be allowed to pass through the gates. I guess I have pointers, wishes for the world. I want to put it out into the world unfinished, because how could I possibly make a list of trials that could handle everyone's individual way of dealing with grief? It's impossible. Even the opening pitch is just some generic fantasy death. I made it before I knew my current players. I'll link to the Pinterest board as well. I don't think I'll upload this for a while. I will not link to the Pinterest board because it's still, I might do this for so long. Hard maybe. But I guess I should start talking about how I want it to be run. The players start as 1. The players start at 1. I like starting at 3 for a campaign because it's a lot of fun, but for this one they have to start at 1, regardless of where they died. They can't die in this. Failing death saves mean you start wherever the DM sees fit. It could be at the start of a trial you failed, it could be at the bottom of the mountain, it could be at the top. They can be alone, with people that they know, with people that they never had the chance to meet, anyone. They don't have to die at the same time. That was rule 2. Rule 3. This isn't an evil world. The NPCs left behind are some people trapped by grief. Moving on is hard. There's nothing evil in taking your time. In every version of Orenthal, there is an NPC techno. A young boy with a pig mask, a kind villager who helps the party, the whispers of a legend who climbed the mountain, just something, someone. The pitch is this. This is the first thing I wrote, for a genuine campaign pitch, so please bear with me. The plan went horribly wrong. There's nothing you can do. No one's up to cast Revivify. No one strong enough to help is around to watch you fall to the hard stone floor. No one hears your cries as you pull your barely conscious body towards your party members, reaching for their hands. Each one of you holds onto each other the best you can. Life leaves you one by one, huddled into a pile just as you had been one night before, brave and bright-eyed despite the winter cold. Months of preparation, and you still lost. You wake up on soft, pastel, light green grass. Rolling over despite your aching muscles, you see X other figures around you, all in similar states of disarray, and this would be where introductions are held. As you look at the sky up above you, you realize that this is not the ruins you laid down to die in, nor does it really seem like this is on your plane. The sky is a soft pink-orange as the sun starts to peak above mountains larger than you ever seen. Looking behind you, you seem to be in a basin on the side of a large mountain. When I say large, I mean it. I want you all to picture in your minds a mountain so large that it seems to fit a small continent. Looking up and seeing small towns, one after another. Seeing whole kingdoms rest on the upper middle parts of the mountain above you. It is unimaginably huge. I never finished that rant. It ends with, yeah, I'm so tired. I'll finish up this ramble tomorrow. But since it's the 1-year anniversary, we're just benching it there. Final rant before we get into reflection is I have not been feeling well about burnout. It's hard to deal with burnout, but especially so with DMing. Literally coming back to write this months later because I got burnt out enough that I didn't even want to write it. The burnout isn't as bad as it was the first time, but I can feel it creeping up on me. It's hard to be a student and a DM, and I feel like I keep doing things wrong with my players, but it's not even that they're my players, they're my friends. I keep fucking up with Emma, and I don't want to be bullied or talked to, but I can't not be talked to because I'm the DM. Vin's chill, though. I feel like my brain's gonna explode, but I know that people are looking forward to this, and I know that I haven't been devoting enough time to Emma and all of that. I know I can ask for time, but it feels wrong. Everyone's devoted so much mental energy, and I just can't do that right now. I got so burnt out that I couldn't finish this rant. How ironic. Maybe I'll finish this when I get burnt out again, inevitably. That was from my latest thing of burnout. I have not been burnt out since. I've been, trying to regulate. That's fun. Oh god. Lake has niche issues. Final part. Woo! Retrospective. Or, Yeah, I don't have to read Happy Birthday Solon. It's been a year. I'm changing the formatting. All of those rants end there, and I'll restart them. Goodbye 2022 to 23. DMing has become a lot more healthy for me, as time has, passed. Not that it was unhealthy to start, but I was like, I don't know, I feel like my mindset about it was really dangerous, especially with how transactional it was, how it was kind of job-y, and then being scared to care about people. That has decreased significantly, especially with the anniversary that just came up. I don't know. It feels good to know that other people care. At least the CZs. DMing has become so much more of a healthy thing for me. It's become so much more than just, like, it's a hobby, but it's one of my most fulfilling hobbies. I'm excited for another year. I mean, I don't have too many rambles to go on how it's changed as a person, besides from just, like, becoming more healthy. It's brought me some of my happiest moments. This is a hobby that I feel is really helping me as a person, and I don't know. That's just about it, I guess. I will continue doing my little DMing rants, because I agree that I didn't make. The way I make worlds, D&D culture kind of sucks, and we should change that, and I am but one man, that I have not gone on yet. We'll probably write these in the upcoming year, and then re-record this, and we'll see. Bye!